Today we're going to be talking about managing orders. This is for the Solutions Architect persona, and we're going to be using Liferay Commerce 2.1. Some key module takeaways. Liferay Commerce provides a light OMS that is capable of handling a range of order management use cases. Orders in Liferay Commerce go through an order lifecycle, a multi-stage process that includes the following milestones: open, in progress, pending, processing, and completed. Liferay Commerce contains shipment management features that keep customers informed and up to date on the status of their orders. For our exercises, you want to make sure you have the Java JDK installed to run Liferay DXP. You can download that here at this link. Make sure that you're unzipping your module exercise files in the following folder structures. If you're on Windows, you want to do C/Liferay, and for Unix systems, you want to be in your user home/Liferay. For this module, you want a running instance of Liferay DXP 7.2 with Liferay Commerce 2.1 installed. Within Liferay, you're going to want to be using a site created using the Minium Accelerator. We're using this site to help with our use case, which is Minium Automotive. They have the following order management needs. They need to keep buyers informed of order statuses via updates, and they need the ability to source inventory from multiple warehouses depending on available stock. Minium is going with Liferay Commerce to realize a few different long-term goals. They want to increase order processing efficiency, improve the order approval process, and increase the total number of shipments sent and received. With all that taken care of, let's go ahead and start managing orders. So what are orders? In Liferay Commerce, an order stores data regarding a potential or past transaction. In Liferay Commerce, an order is created when an account adds items to the cart and can terminate in a number of different statuses depending on the situation. Things like completed, canceled, rejected, and we'll be covering all of those in this section. Not every order is the same, but each one will go through one or more of the stages in the order lifecycle: open, pending, processing, or completed. Depending on the complexity as well as the presence of order approval workflows, an order may need to navigate several intermediary steps on its journey toward fulfillment. Using Liferay Commerce, you still have the power to customize a lot of the different steps that go into the order lifecycle, and we'll be touching on that in a second. Here we have an example of a simple order cycle. Here at the start we have an order placed, and then we move on to the payment method. So if they do have an online payment method, it'll go ahead and process. If everything is cleared, we can move on to the next steps. If they're not using online payment, say they already have some existing credit, they can go ahead and bypass this. And we get to the shipment itself. So now we're checking if the order has shippable items, maybe they're physical objects in a warehouse. We'll go ahead and have the warehouse move forward with that, prepare the order, ship it, and deliver it. For the case of the no here, these might be products that are digital and can just be sent electronically. Now here we also have an order, but with a complex lifecycle. So using Liferay Commerce, you have the ability to determine what the process looks like. Similar to the other example, we have our start, we have our order, but then we have a workflow in place that determines if the buyer can move forward with the order they would like. Once it's approved, we can move into the online payment workflow, similar to what we had used last time. Up top here, we have the ability to put in a hold, and then another workflow comes into place for the seller, so if the seller is actually able to fulfill this order. Once we see that the order can be accepted, we can move into the processing phase. And here we have a workflow set up for partial shipping. So here we have the order being processed, and then a check to see if it's partially shipped or shipped all the way. And this process will continue until it's finally completed. So using Liferay workflows, you can create a system that logically reflects your warehousing and shipping needs. So since an order can go through all these different stages, it's important that we're reflecting the order status as it travels along the lifecycle. Order status refers to an order's current placement within that lifecycle. And order statuses usually include the following: open, in progress, pending, processing, and completed. And here on the right, we can see in our dashboard how that information can be reflected. An order begins the order lifecycle with the open status, and this usually starts when a customer adds an item to the cart. At this time, we're not subtracting from our inventory until the checkout process begins. An order remains open until either the buyer goes through the checkout process or removes the items from their cart. Orders that are in progress are those that are awaiting payment confirmation for the order. Typically, an order will receive this status only when the buyers utilize online payment methods. So if they have existing credit, usually they just bypass this part. Duration spent in this stage is usually brief, but can vary depending on the method of payment. Orders receive the pending status after payment has been confirmed. During this stage, the order is approved and transitioned towards fulfillment. If a seller approval workflow is enabled, the order will remain in this stage until that workflow is done. Orders receive the processing status when they have been approved and are awaiting fulfillment. Orders are examined to determine whether any items in the order are shippable. If so, a shipment can be created to fulfill the order from available inventory. If not, the order is transitioned to the completed status. Orders only receive the completed status when the order has been fulfilled entirely. For orders that include shipments, this means that all items have been delivered to the buyer and the transaction is done. For orders without shipments, this means the buyer has received the item to which they are entitled. Liferay Commerce saves a record of all completed orders that buyers can view from the UI, and administrators can reference them from the control panel. And like we saw earlier in those examples, order workflows are workflows that can be assigned to the ordering process to model real-world approval hierarchies. They can be optionally inserted for buyers before checkout, as well as for sellers when an order is placed. So no matter what kind of product you have or warehousing situation, you'll be able to build something that reflects your current selling strategy. Let's talk about approving or rejecting orders as they're traveling along these life cycles and workflows. Once an order workflow has been enabled, an order status will pause until the order is approved. Orders can be approved or rejected once the workflow reaches a user with the appropriate permissions. And these checkpoints can be set up along the way in your workflow. Like other workflow tasks, the approval process happens in the user menu under the notifications section. Order statuses typically fall within one of 5 stages in the order lifecycle: open, in progress, pending, processing, and completed. An order for which payment has been received and a shipment has been created but not shipped would have an order status of processing.